by simply booking your spot right now. For more information, call Tandeka on 0719 594 426 or Martha on 0719 593 532 or Precious on 0719 593 510 or email tandeka.mubi@zbc.co.zw. Terms and conditions apply.
Make a wish come true with the TM Pick and Pay Christmas Wish. Visit our Facebook page for more details. This time check is brought to you by TM Pick and Pay.
Well, thank you so much for joining us here on the main news. I'm Justin Matlatla, and Nobo Maungwa joins us at the sign language desk.
And I'm Tariro Manameke. Later on, we'll be crossing over to our Montreux studios. But for now, let's take a look at the leading headlines tonight. SADC chairperson, President Emmerson Mnangagwa. Justin, I'll ask you to take that.
SADC chairperson, President Emmerson Mnangagwa visits the regional bloc's headquarters in Botswana.
And government on high alert after tropical cyclone Chido advisory.
Zimbabwe focuses on improving the country's business competitiveness rankings. That and more in business.
And in sport, Zimbabwe netball team settle for bronze after losing to hosts South Africa. And now we take a look at our leading story tonight. SADC chairperson, President Emmerson Mnangagwa, who visited the region's bloc's headquarters in Gaborone, Botswana this Friday, implored staff at the Secretariat to pursue hard and honest work for the benefit of over 300 million people of the region. Our chief correspondent, Ruben Barwe, gives us more.
In what has become a ritual by all chairpersons of the Southern Africa Development Community SADC, after assuming office or during their tenure as chairman, they visited the headquarters situated in Gaborone, Botswana. Friday, the 13th of December 2024, was the day the President, Comrade Emmerson Mnangagwa, came to the seat of government of the regional grouping. For the past 18 years, the building was built on Build, Operate and Transfer BOT basis, a clear example of excellent private-public partnership, PPP. He initially toured the SADC headquarters before being joined by his Botswana counterpart, President Duma Boko, in unveiling the plaque. They did this on behalf of the 14 other leaders of Southern Africa. The two leaders spoke of the importance of this regional grouping and the role it is playing to resolve challenges and champion economic development.
We are here, the President and Chairperson of SADC and I, to officially receive this magnificent building and to attest to the attainment of this significant milestone in the history and development of the Southern African Development Community, and to reaffirm the binds and bonds that hold us together and hold the sub-region together.
I'm confident that the interface with the Secretariat has enabled my delegation to broaden our understanding of the entire scope of our regional development trust. The critical technical support and the coordination provided by the SADC Secretariat is invaluable in our quest to actualize the aspirations of our regional organization for the benefit of our people of our region. On behalf of SADC, I extend sincere gratitude through you, my dear brother, President Duma Boko, to the government and people of the Republic of Botswana for the generous donation of the plot on which this magnificent SADC Secretariat headquarters is going to be built.
Then it was time to speak to members of the Secretariat on what the chairman envisages during his term of office.
The construction of the SADC Liberation Square in Harare, which houses the Museum of African Liberation, is progressing well. I'm aware of similar efforts in other SADC countries. It is the duty of the respective countries of SADC and our peoples as a whole to promote and take pride in our heritage for both present and future generations.
Host President Advocate Duma Gideon Boko also gave his take.
We are here today, the President of the Republic of Zimbabwe and Chairperson of SADC and I, to be chief witnesses when we celebrate and seize this propitious moment in history.
It took 4 years of patience, thanks to the Botswana government, that it donated the land where the building stands today. Bongwe Investment says they are proud to have worked with the SADC till to date and pray that such arrangements can produce better results for a win-win situation. Ruben Barber, ZBC News, Gaborone, Botswana.
President Mnangagwa says the construction of the Rapid Force Logistics Depot in Botswana will go a long way in ending violence in the SADC region. He was speaking at the groundbreaking ceremony of a $45 million United States dollar complex at Rasesa North in Gaborone this Friday. We'll give you details to that report later on. But now moving on, the president is back home after his working visit to Botswana. The president, who is also SADC chairperson, visited the SADC Secretariat headquarters in Gaborone and officiated at the groundbreaking ceremony for the construction of the SADC Standby Force Regional Logistics Depot at Rasesa Village. He was received at the Robert Gabriel Mugabe International Airport by Vice President General Retired Dr. Constantino Chiwenga, Minister of Information, Publicity and Broadcasting Services Dr. Jenfan Muskwere, Chief Secretary to the President and Cabinet Dr. Martin Rushwaya, Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of Information, Publicity and Broadcasting Services Mr. Nick Mangwana, and service chiefs.
And now to Ghana, where President Emmerson Mnangagwa has congratulated His Excellency John Dramani Mahama for being elected the President of Ghana. President Mahama was elected in the 7th December Ghana general elections. In a statement, President Mnangagwa said Mr. Mahama's victory is an affirmation of the trust and demonstration of confidence the people of Ghana have in him. President Mnangagwa reaffirmed his commitment to working closely with the Ghana president-elect to strengthen the strong bonds of friendship between Ghana and Zimbabwe.
Former Vice President and national hero Comrade Phelekezela Mpoko, who died in India last week, will be buried in Bulawayo on Sunday.
Scores of government officials, service chiefs, colleagues and family members converged at Charles Gumbo Barracks in Harare for a send-off ceremony for the late former Vice President Comrade Phelekezela Mpoko this Friday. In his keynote address, Vice President General Retired Dr. Constantino Chiwenga described Comrade Mpoko as a giant of the liberation struggle.
On behalf of the President of the Republic of Zimbabwe, His Excellency Comrade Dr. Emmerson Mnangagwa, and the nation at large, I would like to bid our farewell to our illustrious national hero, former Vice President Phelekezela Mpoko, who passed on in India on 6 December. The late hero, national hero, and former Vice President Phelekezela Mpoko, whose nom de guerre was Comrade Report, became actively involved in the country's liberation movement at a tender age in the 1960s and was one of the first youths to be dispatched for military training in the Union of the Soviet Socialist Republics, with the likes of comrades Akim Dovu, Ambrose Mtiniri, and Charles Chikerema in 1964. In the late comrade report, Perekezera Mpoko, we have lost one of the few surviving renowned commanders from the former Zimbabwe People's Revolutionary Army, ZIPRA, a resolute giant of the liberation struggle, whose immense contribution to our independence is a legacy too bold to be forgotten or erased.
Dr. Chiwenga chronicled to Comrade Mpoko's contribution to the national healing, peace, and reconciliation process.
Due to his diligence and acumen, he was appointed Vice President of the Republic of Zimbabwe in 2014, a position that he held until 2017, and was also in charge of the national healing, peace, and reconciliation, where he worked relentlessly to promote national peace, reconciliation, and equitable development in the country.
The family is grateful to government for honoring Comrade Mpoko with national hero status.
I'm very overwhelmed by the gesture of the government in recognizing the contribution and the service that was rendered by my late brother.
Comrade Mpoko's body was later airlifted to Bulawayo, where it will lie in state at a local funeral parlor ahead of burial at Douglasdale in Bulawayo on Sunday. A funeral service will be held at his Douglasdale residence Saturday evening. Born in Gwizane Bobi district on the 11th of June 1940, the late Comrade Mpoko joined the liberation struggle in 1964 and received military training in Russia. After independence, he served in various government positions and was posted to diplomatic missions from 1987, serving in countries such as Russia, Austria, and South Africa, among others. He served as vice president from December 2014 to November 2017. He is survived by his wife Lorinda, 3 children and 3 grandchildren. Mourners are gathered at Plot 19 Bulawayo Drive, Douglasdale in Bulawayo. Peter Chivima, ZBC News, Harare.
The government has activated national risk and disaster management systems after an advisory of Tropical Cyclone Chido, which is predicted to affect the country from the 17th of this month. Tendai Manengwa reports.
According to the Meteorological Service Department, chances of the predicted tropical cyclone Chido to reach Zimbabwe are projected at 80%, hence the need for all relevant stakeholders to be on high alert.
The current wind speeds that it's spinning at is between 210 to 220 kilometers per hour. That is whilst it's still close to Madagascar. And with these wind speeds, the destruction is unimaginable. You get trees being pulled out, roofs being blown off, waters being carried from the ocean onto land, and the disasters are unproportional. But when it reaches Zimbabwe, it's projected to be moving at about 45 kilometers to about 50 kilometers per hour. But this might change, so we'll continue to monitor this and advise you better as the weekend progresses.
Cabinet has already approved the Civil Protection Department blueprint on disaster management.
I know of the 8 provinces they are likely to be visited by Cyclone Chido, if we are to go by the prediction, and we must make sure that all those provinces are activated.
Local authorities have also come under the spotlight with blocked drainages, which usually cause flash floods in Harare and other cities and towns, cited as a recipe for disaster if not addressed on time. Tendai Munengwa, ZBC News, Harare.
The Zimbabwe Broadcasting Corporation has received a consignment of vehicles and equipment aimed at enhancing operations at the national broadcaster as part of the Second Republic's recapitalization drive.
As part of enhancing operations of the national broadcaster, in line with ZBC's 5-year strategic plan, the donation that includes vehicles and technical equipment is expected to drive the vision of the corporation. The Minister of Information, Publicity and Broadcasting Services, Dr. Jenfan Muswere, said government is expecting ZBC to fully utilize the donation to carry out its mandate to inform, educate and entertain the citizenry.
This recapitalization effort is part of government of Zimbabwe's commitment to ensure that ZBC takes its rightful place in terms of building national consciousness, in terms of taking into consideration heritage-based broadcasting, which also includes our values as a people, our ethics as a people, but also, most importantly, the role, responsibility and mandate of ZBC as an institution, in that it has to be a real-time disseminator of information and also ensure that we educate the nation and also to entertain the nation.
He also spoke about the expected amendment of the Broadcasting Services Act that is set to enhance revenue generation for the national broadcaster.
Some of the key pillars that you have to attend to includes the debt restructuring program, the profitability models that you have to come up with in order to ensure that compliance is increased in terms of revenue generation. That advertising is also supported by a number of programs that the board of directors and management should be able to come up with. But even if as a ministry we are working together with other legislators to be able to amend the Broadcasting Services Act, Chapter 12.06, which seeks to align broadcasting legislation and motor vehicle registration legislation in order to generate more revenue for the institution in terms of the Constitution of Zimbabwe. What will remain a lacuna is the content generation, the traffic that you generate. So the recapitalization, which was directed by the President, Dr. Idi Mnangagwa, that ZBC should be recapitalized, is part of what I've just commissioned here today.
Acting Board Chairperson Advocate Louis Uriri said ZBC stands ready to play its part in national development.
We acknowledge, Honourable Minister, the changing media landscape where online platforms have become an integral part of our daily lives. As ZBC, we commit to being a trusted source of information, a beacon of hope and a catalyst for positive change.
The funds for the acquisition of vehicles and equipment were sourced from the Ministry of Information, Publicity and Broadcasting Services, the Ministry of Finance, Economic Development and Investment Promotion, and a private donor. Olina Ndori, ZBC News, Harare.
A Greek for She patron, the First Lady, Dr. Auxilia Mnangagwa, launched a new program, Poultry for Vanambuya Empowerment Scheme in Hurungwe district of Mashonaland West Province this Friday.
First Lady Dr. Auxilia Mnangagwa, who is also a Greek for She patron, touched the world celebrations among thousands of women at Chikangwe Stadium in Hurungwe district, where she distributed 5,500 hybrid chickens under a new program, Poultry for Vanambuya Empowerment Scheme, in a development tailored to boost productivity and ensure that they generate income to sustain themselves. Out of her own 4-run projects, Amem Mnangagwa, an empowerment champion, gave out 3 stages of hybrid runner chickens. Some are 2 weeks old, some 4.5 weeks, with others at the point of lay. Amai donated various breed types including Sussex, Bushveld and cuckoos to the elderly women from her own hatcheries. The initiative saw elderly women from all the constituencies of Urungwe district benefiting. The project is said to be a game changer since the chickens thrive in adverse weather conditions. Herself an avid farmer, the mother of the nation also handed over fertilizers to support the elderly who are farming traditional grains. Amidst global challenges posed by climate change, Dr. Mnangagwa champions the promotion of traditional grains like sorghum, rapoko and millets, which are highly nutritious and medicinal and are also resilient to adverse weather conditions. Her efforts in this regard have yielded resounding success in addressing food security concerns. Dr. Mnangagwa is passionate about seeing her women folk excelling in agriculture, always gives women essential inputs, chemicals and machinery to enhance their agricultural activities under the Agri-for-She farming initiative. Amai Mnangagwa in her address underscored the need for people to prepare for the rains which are beckoning. As the country's environment patron, she also rallied everyone to take very good care of the environment since there is interdependence between humans and vegetation.
Mwaka wemvura watidarike ndio inonzi climate change. Asi hazvititadzise kufamba tichisimbisana tichidzidzisana tichipanana maprojects ekuita. Mvura inouya. Asi pakuuya kwacho tagadzirirei pakuuya kwaichaita. Saka nhasi tinoramba tichikurudzira kuti kuchengetedza nharaunda dzedu, nzvimbo dzedu, kuchengetedza zvakatikomberedza zvedu, izvo zvatinowana upenyu kubva mazviri, zvakafanana nemiti, uswa, zvose zvatakapuwa naMwari wedu nyadenga kuti zvitichengete, nokuti tiri vanhu vanochengetana nezvinhu izvozvo. Zvinotichengetawo isusu tichizvichengetawo, nokuti kurarama kwedu kunobva mumiti, mumashizha, kufema, mishonga yese inobva muzvinhu izvozvo. Saka ndaona kuti nyaya yekutema nokupisa ngatibva tasiyana netsika iyoyo zvachose munyika yedu yeZimbabwe, nokuti mararamiro tava kuita iko zvino climate change hatichaziva kuti tikabva pano tichaendepi neclimate change iyoyi. Asi tikasatema tikasapisa tinorarama zvakanaka, climate change yacho haizotikanganisa kudarikidzisa zvayakuita iko zvino. Uye mvura yacho kana ikazouya inouya zvakanakawo, kana ikauya ine uturu hauperere patiri isu vanhu. Uturu hwacho hunoperera mumashizha, mumiti, muhuswa, zvinozosvika kwatiri zvareruka.
Amai also took time to speak candidly against laziness, GBV, drug and substance abuse, teenage pregnancies and child marriages. She rallied elderly women to rope in youngsters in the newly introduced Poetry for Anambia project for them to stay away from social vices.
Tinoti hunhu hunofamba nemunhu. Makuriro andakaita asiro angachinja kuti ndirege kuya kuvanhu. Kana ndichikuonai ndimi vana baba vangu namai vangu, madzisekuru angu, madzimbuya angu, makoma, vana tete. Ndinokukudzai zvakanyanyisisa. Nokuti kukurawo kwangu ndakadzidziswawo nevapa next door, nevemumaraini kuti zvinonzwai, unozodai, unozodai. Ndo vakandikudza, saka muna kusiyana naivavo. Ndichifunga kuti chokwadiwo nemi mwoyo yenyu, kana munavo vana vakafanana naivavo, itaiwo zvimwe chetezvo. Murayire, chengetai henyu waro, Mwari ndo vanoziva. Huku dzamuri kuona chikamu cheku Agri-for-She chatawedzera. Saka project iyi nhasi yakanangana nambuya. Tinochipiwa susu semayuthi, tochipiwa samadzimai echidiki, tinochipiwa sana madzimai ari mudzimba, but nhasi iyi project ndati zvayabva kwandiri ini saamai ndotangana nambuya. Shandaizve navazukuru ipapo. Ndichida kuti muvabate, vabve munyaya dzekudhakwa, vabve munyaya dzechipfambi, nyaya dzekupanana mimba vanavo. Izvozvo vari paholiday, vakatokwenyana sokuti tosangana kwakati, zvokuti January vashoma vanenge vakudzokera kuchikoro, vamwe vanenge vaane mimba. Saka chibatai vazukuru, vachengete huku idzi kubva nhasi kusvika dzatanga ukandira. Vana sekuru kukurudzirana nambuya nemuwo muchimiramirawo muchiona kuti musha project yafambawo sei, iri kubuda zvakadini, inotibatsira tese semhuri. pamazera ese atiri ngatiremekedzanei. Vana vedu izvino vachifamba anofamba akabata bhurukwa kudai nokuti riri kudonha, akakanganwa kuri kubata riri kudonha pasi chaipo bvu. Zvino inyika here iyoyo nai? Ukatarisa musikana anopfeka zvinhu zvinoperera panapa, panapa zvinenge zvatopera, akutobuda akuenda. Ukachitarisa mujivha chacho kana chisiketi chakapfekwa chakangodai, teererai vabereki venyu. Kana nichiti vabereki venyu, kwete ivavo chete vakakubereka baba wako namai vako, chera akutsuura ari murodhi mubereki wako. Ndo panozobva kuti tizoshanda zvakanaka semhuri, tiite maprojects ayo ari kuuya.
Minister of State for Provincial Affairs and Devolution, Mashonaland West Province, Honorable Maureen Chombo, thanked the First Lady for a well-thought-out empowerment project.
Ma-programs amuri kuvaunzira, they complement ma-programs avanoita avatorira varimi zvavari ipapo, and vamanangana navo vamati vana mbuya amai marotswa naMwari kuti munange that target group.
Agric for She National Coordinator, Mr. Nikros Kajengo, praised the First Lady for a vision which has transformed the lives of many across the country.
Nemuono wao nokuti program iyo iri kubva kuma coffers awo, kuma projects awo, kuma remittance awo, huku dzedu mabreeds akasiyana siyana, ma hybrids akapedza kushingirira munzvimbo dzose. Tine ma SADC, tine makuku, tine ma Boschveld, huku dzakabreedwa nenyanzvi. Adzizi huku dzema pure breeds yokuti dzine line breeding or inbreeding, asi huku dzima hybrids.
Mr. Pasmonya Madzao, a provincial livestock specialist for Mashonaland West Province, commended Amai for the gesture, adding that the chicken breeds that Amai brought grow well and have high egg production, efficiency and good meat quality.
Tinotenda zvikuru nokudhaya naamai masaso nemakaku huku idzo dzinokura zvakanaka zvikuru, dzinokandira mazai akawanda zvokuti vabereki vachapunduka nadzo, ende hasi nyaya yemazai chete, dzinokura chaiko kuita nyama yakawanda zvokuti zvichabatsira kuti nyama kuti mazai. Totarisirawo zvakare kuti ivo varimi vedu ava vachadzichengeta, dzokandira, dzochochonya, kana dzatochonya dzowanda, tozopesa tatone habhu yehuku dzakadai dzauya kuno.
The beneficiaries were on cloud 9.
Mai Mnangagwa matitira basa, matipofeteresa kuti tirime nera dzatakasirwawo dziyambuke nekutopfuwa vana vachienda kuchikoro, tirege kutengesa miri yedu, tishande nemaoko.
Nhasi ndanzwa kufara amai vachitirangarira nehuku dzokuti tigare tichiziva tikawana mari yechigayo ipapo, ukatengesa unowana mari yako yechigayo, woendesawo kazukuru kako kuchikoro.
Nhasi unomandibatsira zvikuru zvokuti handina kana nerimwe rokuti ndingataure kureva kuti unherera hwangu nhasi uno hwapera kana wachirikadzi. Nhasi uno ndatopuwa huku naamai, ndateva nomurume pano.
Dr. Mnangagwa also donated tons of rice which were distributed to the community. The First Lady under the Agric for She program has so far launched Fumvudza for She, Livestock for She, Fisheries for She, Horticulture for She, NIPS for She, Mechanization for She, and the newly introduced Poultry for Anambuya, meant to benefit thousands of women across the country. Colette Msanyera, ZBC News, Urungwe.
Now to details on the groundbreaking ceremony of a $45 million United States dollar complex at Rasesa North in Gaborone, Botswana this Friday, where President Emmerson Mnangagwa said the construction of the Rapid Force Logistics Depot will go a long way in ending violence in the region.
The Southern Africa Development Community SADC's organ on politics, defense and security is a crucial arm of the regional grouping. The security forces of the member states are currently deployed in the Democratic Republic of the Congo. The mission to Cabo Delgado in Mozambique ended this year. The deployment of troops and equipment was sourced from member states' inventories. The groundbreaking ceremony held in Rasesa-Katleng district north of Gaborone, Botswana by the SADC chairman President Emmerson Mnangagwa, together with the President of Botswana, Advocate Duma Gideon Boko. On behalf of the 14 heads of states, SADC chairman spoke of the need of rapid response to hotspots in the region.
To date, US $15 million has been mobilized for this project. On behalf of the SADC region, I therefore appeal to member states and partners alike to generously support this very important initiative. Investing in peace and security is always a worthwhile endeavor. More so, given that peace and security are prerequisites for the sustainable development that we all cherish and that we all need. Allow me, therefore, to commend the chairperson of the SADC organ on politics, defense, and security cooperation, Her Excellency Dr. Samia Suluhu Hassan, United Republic of Tanzania, for her astute stewardship in fostering peace and security in our region, and reaffirm our full support for these efforts. I also wish to take this opportunity to thank the local community and our very traditional leaders here in this area for their support to this project.
President Boko said it is a vote of confidence for his country to host both the Secretariat and the SADC Logistics Depot.
I am grateful today that the chairperson of SADC is here on the twin mission, first of receiving the SADC building that was handed over today, and secondly, to be with us in this epic, groundbreaking, marking the cementing of the ties that bind us together, and sending a clear message to our people, the unnumbered throng on the African continent, that we are mobilizing and readying ourselves for the now and the future, to be able to step in and address any conflict situation that may arise.
The $45 million United States dollar complex will be built in 2 phases and will bring all the equipment which is ready for deployment to hotspots in the region. Much of it is currently being hosted by respective defense forces of member states. Ruben Barwe, ZBC News, Gaborone, Botswana.
The Medicines Control Authority of Zimbabwe has sounded alarm over the proliferation of falsified medicines in the country. Pharmacists and other retailers caught selling fake medicines risk losing their licenses. We get more details in the following report.
In a stern warning on the sidelines of the MCAZ Annual Stakeholders Forum, Director General of the authority, Mr. Richard Rukwata, revealed that the authority has been investigating cases of falsified medicines, including antibiotics such as cloxacillin capsules, which are used to treat infections.
We have cases where some pharmacists have been found in possession of cloxacillin, which is in the containers of the Varicam product, but this would be something else. And when we test these in the lab, we find that they fail the assay test, which means they don't have the adequate amount of the antibiotic that's required. This is extremely dangerous because it exposes the public to antimicrobial resistance, which is a very serious concern. I'm sure there are many other forums where this issue has been raised. And also it means since the patient is getting subtherapeutic doses, they may actually not heal. So these are very, very dangerous practices.
Mr. Rukwata emphasized that the MCAZ takes the issue of falsified medicines seriously, warning that anyone caught selling such medicines risks losing their license.
Due process would be undertaken, investigations would be done, but the authority is very much convinced that this is an extremely serious transgression.
This year, more than 10 wholesale dealers had their pharmacy licenses cancelled for various violations, including purchasing medicines from unauthorized sources, selling unregistered and expired medicines, and selling specially restricted preparations without a prescription. Abigail Tembo, ZBC News, Harare.
4 rhinos have succumbed to contamination from the cyanobacteria in the water sources at Lake Chiveru Recreational Park.
3 zebras, 4 fish eagles, as well as goats and cattle from nearby farms died from the contamination. Zimbabwe Parks and Wildlife Management Authority spokesperson, Mr. Tinashe Farao, confirmed the loss of wildlife.
Lake Chiveru is heavily contaminated, mainly because of the raw sewage which is being dumped into the lake. So over the last month, we have lost at least 4 rhinos. And we have done tests with the University of Zimbabwe, Department of Vet, and also government vet services to find out what is causing the deaths of those rhinos. And it has confirmed that there's a bacteria which is being caused by the contamination. And it's not only the rhinos which we have lost. We've also lost quite a number of zebras, wildebeest, and many other animals, including the popular fish eagle.
Mr. Farao called for collective responsibility to protect and preserve wildlife by addressing threats to their populations and habitat loss.
It's also important for us to make sure that we take corrective measures to deal with the contamination within the Lake Chiveru. At the moment, what we have done, we have taken corrective measures to ensure that the rhinos are safe.
One of the biggest threats to Lake Chiveru is pollution from sewage effluent, industrial and domestic waste, as well as fertilizer and pesticide runoff from farms. Memory Chamisa, ZBC News, Harare.
Well, remember to share with us your views and comments via our social media platforms on Facebook, on X, as well as on our YouTube and WhatsApp channels. We are at ZBC News Online. Also check our Instagram as well as TikTok pages, and our website is at www.zbcnews.co.zw.
And now for news still to come in this bulletin in business. Zimbabwe focuses on improving the country's business competitiveness rankings. And in sport, Zimbabwe netball team settle for bronze after losing to hosts South Africa. That and more in sport. On that note, we take a break. Stay with us.
Hyatt Regency Harare, the Meekles, launched its festive season today. They kicked off the day with Christmas carols performed by Eaglesville High School. Not to worry if you missed out this event, because they have a calendar full of festivities this season.
Zimbabwe is beautiful.
Starting with a set menu dinner, which will run from the 24th of December through to the 26th. This will be followed by their traditional Christmas Day brunch on the 25th of December and a pool barbecue for those of us who prefer a different setup. On the 31st of December, they will have the New Year's Eve dinner, welcoming the new year. And for the very first time in Zimbabwe, they are launching Lazy Breakfast on the 1st of January 2025. Go ahead, tell your friends and loved ones that Hyatt Regency is the place to be this festive season. Travel and experience Zimbabwe this festive season. Zimbo. An occasion of pride and achievement awaits. This Monday, the 16th of December 2024, the Zimbabwe Prisons and Correctional Service will host a historic recruitment pass-out parade at Ntabazinduna Training School, Matebelele North Province. Family and friends, join us as we celebrate the dedication, discipline and commitment of graduating correctional officers from courses number 154 and 155. Be part of history as His Excellency, the President of the Republic of Zimbabwe, Comrade Dr. Emerson Dambudzo Mnangagwa, presides over this momentous event. Zimbabwe Prisons and Correctional Service for incarceration, rehabilitation and reintegration of offenders into society.
Want to
elevate your entertainment? Then add Showmax to your DSTV subscription at a discount. Showmax is not a TV channel. It's an on-demand video streaming service on showmax.com. To add Showmax to your DSTV subscription, simply use the My DSTV app. Select Add Showmax. The app screen will display the discount you qualify for. Now you can enjoy exclusive shows and movies you won't find anywhere else. Add Showmax to elevate your entertainment.
Welcome back and thank you for staying with us. A funeral parade for Group Captain Patrick Jeke, who died in Harare this Thursday, has been held at Manyame Air Force Base. More details in the next report.
A somber atmosphere at Manyame Air Force Base as friends and family members gathered at the parade square to bid farewell to one of their own, the late Group Captain Patrick Jeke, who succumbed to long illness at a local hospital this Thursday. Chief Mona, Air Force of Zimbabwe Chief of Staff Operations Air Vice Marshal Biltu Mchungono said the AFZ and the entire ZDF has lost a dedicated officer.
During his service, the late Group Captain Patrick Jeke held various appointments, which included, among others, Platoon Commander for 441 Infantry Battalion and Training Officer at School of Anti-Aircraft Artillery Training.
Colleague and family spokesperson Group Captain Pius Ndou said Group Captain Jeke has left a void which will be difficult to fill.
Group Captain Jeke was a quiet sort of person, but he was a brilliant person, very bright in the system. We were together in the air defense system.
Group Captain Jeke will be buried at the Benga farm in Kadoma this Saturday. Peter Chivima, ZBC News, Harare.
We'll now join Arthur Evans, who is at our Montreal studios in Bulawayo, to give us stories from that end. It's a good evening to you, Arthur.
Thank you so much, Justin. Various power projects being implemented by Zimbabwe and Zambia are progressing well.
The Zambezi River Authority ZRA Council of Ministers meeting held in Livingstone, Zambia this Friday heard that $1 million United States has been secured to carry out a feasibility studies for the much-awaited floating solar photovoltaic plant on Lake Kariba.
In light of the need to diversify renewable energy sources, the authority, in collaboration with the African Development Bank, is deliberating the construction of a floating solar PV plant on Lake Kariba. To date, AFDB has committed $1 million for feasibility studies, and both the African Union and the European Union have expressed interest in co-financing this initiative.
The meeting was also informed that the Kariba Dam Rehabilitation Project, KDRP, has achieved significant milestones, including 100% completion of the plunge pool reshaping and 85% progress on spillway refurbishment works. The meeting was also implored to bring innovative solutions and a renewed commitment to addressing power shortages affecting both countries.
This meeting is a meeting of hope. We need to re-strategize. We need to bring new ideas. We need to commit and apply ourselves to some of the areas that we have agreed ourselves. It's not business as usual.
Zimbabwe and Zambia are jointly implementing various projects to end power wars the two countries are currently grappling with.
Government is amplifying its quest to establish more vocational training centers in every district, with the construction of a new vocational training center in Sizinda, Bulawayo having reached the halfway mark.
The Sizinda Vocational Training Center, which seeks to close the skills gap among youths in Bulawayo, has been applauded as crucial in promoting empowerment of youths.
Tungakunanzelela kusiza thina
esingekho esizini yakho esesidlulile bona baye bengakuboni but ukuqhakatheka hayi kuyabe kuqhakatheke kakhulu ngoba kuzabakhipha ekunatheni ekuoneni okuyinto ezagcina ibenza bagcine bengena emajele.
For youths, the center will also play a central role in keeping them off the streets and away from drug and substance abuse.
Siza kakhulu njengama youth like ngesikhathi lezi esiphila kuzo ama drugs isiyandile kakhulu uma youth and yasilimaza kakhulu, so by opening ama vocational training center aza mitigate udubo lwethu lathi njengama youth.
Ngama opportunity ukuthi sithole imisebenzi, stay away from ama drugs, so ama drugs ebulela abantu abaningi. The opening of ama vocational centers it has really helped abantu abacha. They like advocate ukuthi we do imisebenzi yezandla kakhulu.
With the project reaching the halfway mark, government is targeting its completion by early next year.
There's a lot of infrastructure that is supposed to be built at Sizinda Vocational Training Center. And as you are all aware that in Bulawayo we don't have adequate vocational training centers. But we are hoping that through the drive of His Excellency, the President, Comrade Idi Mnangagwa, whereby he is saying each and every district must have a VTC. So we are going to push so that we support Bulawayo as much as we can.
Government is committing significant resources towards enhancing vocational skills development as the country targets attainment of Vision 2030. Lisa Masuku, ZBC News, Bulawayo.
Government and its partners continue to ensure that communities are food secure in the light of the El Nino-induced drought, with people of Chivi benefiting from the launch of a lean assistance program in the district.
More than 123,000 villagers in Chivi started receiving food aid this Thursday through collaborative efforts between the government of Zimbabwe, World Food Programme, and the government of Russia. Villagers say the program, which will run for the next 3 months, will cushion them against the effects of current El Nino-induced drought.
Peace, magadheni izvi kana munzvimbo dzedu dzamadiridzwa zhinji dzaoma.
Through social welfare vanhu vari kuwana chikafu mwedzi nemwedzi, vari kuwana chibagwe, vari kuwana wheat.
Tinotenda zvikuru neutungamiriri wenyika vagona kutsvaka ukama neRussia kuti tibetsereke mumatambudziko enzara.
The Russian government, which donated oils and pulses worth $2 million United States dollars, pledged to continue supporting Zimbabwe in ensuring food security.
We are all aware of the successful policy that the government of Zimbabwe, under the leadership of President Mnangagwa, has been promoting to build up resilience of agriculture, the main sector of the country's economy.
This demonstrates our shared commitment to addressing immediate needs while laying the groundwork for recovery and resilience. As we respond to this challenge, we must look to the future. To protect people against future shocks, we need to strengthen resilience at all levels.
The government of Zimbabwe thanked its partners for the support, reiterating that no one will die of hunger.
This program will go a long way in helping our populace, which was negatively affected by the drought.
May I take this opportunity to express my gratitude to the members of the Russian Federation and the WFP for the timely response to the domestic and international appeal for humanitarian assistance made by His Excellency the President of the Republic of Zimbabwe.
Government has been implementing various short-term and long-term strategies to cushion communities against drought, including food aid distribution, sinking of boreholes, establishment of irrigation schemes, and community gardens, among others. Ms. Martina, ZBC News, Chivi.
From sharing food, we continue to share stories on your main news bulletin from our Pockets Hill studios. My name is Arthur Sevens for the Montrose studios.
Many thanks there to Arthur and the team at our Montreal studios, and welcome back to our Pocket Hill studios in Harare. Mazoe Veterinary Education Principal Donora Nyamadzao has appeared in court on allegations of defrauding his employer of more than 200,000 United States dollars in a botched fuel deal.
Nyamadzao allegedly used the Department of Agricultural Education's petrol trade customer account number to procure ZIG-denominated fuel coupons comprising 69,000 litres of petrol and 63,960 litres of diesel for personal business without permission or authorization from the department or the permanent secretary in the Ministry of Lands, Agriculture, Fisheries, Water and Rural Development. The court heard that he went on to use ministry's letterhead to self-authorize the collection of the fuel coupons from Petrol Trade Harare and used them for personal business. The offense came to light towards the end of September this year when the Department of Agricultural Education went to Petrol Trade Harare for a quotation of its monthly allocation of 24,120 litres of fuel for a graduation event. Petrol Trade Harare refused to issue a quotation and subsequently disclosed that the fuel had been collected by the accused, thereby exhausting their monthly allocation. Nyamadzao was released on 500 United States dollars bail and is expected back in court on the 12th of next month. Meanwhile, 2 Zimbabwe Republic police officers have appeared in court for allegedly soliciting for a bribe from a Chinese company. 31-year-old Patrick Kwashira and Tangai Matomati, aged 35, are facing criminal abuse of office charges after they allegedly demanded 5,000 United States dollars from a Chinese firm, Sanyi Fengtel, Zimbabwe. The court heard that a trap was set up by ZRP Internal Investigations and Kwashira was intercepted at the company's premises after the duo received the bribe money. They were released on 200 United States dollars bail each and advised not to interfere with witnesses until the finalization of the matter. The duo will return to court on the 12th of next month. Fungai Jachi, ZBC News, Harare.
On that note, we take a break, but when we come back, we'll be giving you the business news. Stay tuned.
2018 kubile the-EU bayikhomane ne-SADC nga-Sustainable Agricultural Technology. Vanhu valava va yi dyondzisile mhaka ya World Conflicts mukudeliwa hi tihomu, hi timhisi na tinghala. Ya swi vula ku ya hikwalaho va yi dyondzisile mahlayiselo ya tihomu ta hina ku hi fanele aka swivala swi nga tiya leswi swi vekiwa ma-electric fence. Ta swi vula hi kumile ma-opportunities ko tala u kota ku save tihomu ta hina kumbe ku endla start ma-own programs ta hina, ma-own project ta hina ku fana ne-butchery. Ya ha ri kwalaho ni khensa ngopfu hi mhaka ku village ya hina ya Mihlanguleni so far ya tiva ku a hi fanele ku hlupheka hina tihomu ka swi lowu hi ne nhluvuko ndhawini ya hina. We are empowered.
To our cherished viewers, this is an official invitation to the biggest festive celebration.
Let's go!
From the 13th of December to the 6th of January.
It's astonishing!
Accept the invitation when you press play on endless entertainment at home or wherever you are.
Oh, snap!
With DSTV Stream at no extra cost. T's and C's apply. Because this festive, everyone's invited. DSTV, your home of entertainment.
Welcome back. It's time for business news now, and it's over to Tari.
The creation of a competitive climate for Zimbabwean businesses in the domestic and global markets is topping the Second Republic's agenda in 2025. Stanley James gives us more details.
The government 4 years ago set up the National Competitiveness Commission, NCC, to formulate strategies to restore business confidence. A review of the Commission's operations review plans to forge ahead with the policies to increase business confidence.
The major focus that we have that is key is for us to look at the AFC, which is a critical thing as we go, because it's one of the wolves that is at the door, and we need to ensure that Zimbabwe becomes competitive globally.
Focus is also on improving the country's competitiveness rankings on the global arena.
It's not a one-person game. It's a whole country issue. So we look at competitiveness starting from the domestic market and then to the international market. If a company does well on the domestic market, the chances that it will do well on the external market is given.
Incentives are for investors, reducing the period for company registration, tax relief measures, favorable business conditions are some of Zimbabwe's aspirations for improved competitiveness. Stanley James, ZBC News, Harare.
And now, as we move on, the Deposit Protection Corporation is on a drive to encourage citizens to have confidence in the banking sector amid indications that several individuals have since benefited from the compensation fund.
The DPC team was in Gweru this Friday as it continues with its nationwide campaign on its awareness efforts to engage stakeholders to have enough confidence in the banking sector, as it unveiled part of its packages of fallback plan in case a financial institution is liquidated or goes insolvent. DPC Chief Executive Officer Mr. Hopewell Zinyau took the opportunity to highlight some of the progress made in protecting depositors.
We cover up to $1,000 per account for all the commercial banks, merchant banks, building societies, etc., and also the Zim Gold or ZIG equivalent. And for the deposit-taking microfinance institutions, we cover $500 and ZIG equivalent. So in terms of our coverage ratio, to say all the accounts, individual accounts in Zimbabwe, how far have we gone as of now should a bank fail? We are happy to report that we have covered 96% of all valid existing bank accounts in Zimbabwe, meaning that if any of those banks fails today, we are able to compensate up to this level, and we are at the point where we are happy with the growth as far as our fund is concerned, and these numbers are going to be reviewed in terms of the cover limit in Q1 of 2025.
The DPC acknowledges educating the citizenry on the benefits and operations of the Deposit Protection Scheme will enhance public confidence in the banking sector and promote financial stability.
We want to build a sustainable business model as part of our strategic plan, meaning that we must be able to grow our cover limit. We must be able to go even as far as 5,000, 10,000 USD as far as our cover limit is concerned. And we are quite happy, quite hopeful that we are in the right path as far as that strategic objective is concerned. Bank resolution, to ensure that we speed the resolution and the liquidation process of failed banks.
The DPC is a key member of the Financial Inclusion Forum, and such awareness workshops help to promote financial literacy and inclusion. The workshop, which follows yet another engagement recently held in Manicaland, is part of the broader plan by the organization to reach out to all stakeholders countrywide. Tafaraj Komira, ZBC News, Gweru.
From business to the arts, where artists are already in the festive mood with several shows lined up for around the country this weekend.
One of the capital's biggest ladies' attraction, Duke and Slay, is among the major highlights of the weekend in Harare. Revered artists Jar Praiser, Enzo Aishal, Master Etienne Tamimoyo, are expected to light up the event set for the Alex Sports Club this Sunday. This Friday, it will be a hip-hop affair at the Zim Hip Hop Awards, where local artists will be honored at an event to be held at the Royal Gate Gardens in Harare.
The day has finally come when we are celebrating the success in the hip-hop, we're celebrating the culture, and I'm happy that as House of Arts Association, we are happy to be curating and being in this partnership where we are trying to grow together the culture, the hip-hop culture.
Elsewhere, Pagomba in Baitbridge is another major attraction where various artists are performing this Sunday. Artists set to perform include Freeman, Killer T, Suleiman Chimbetu and Saint Flo among others. Friday night will see the Zimbabwe College of Music cap off the year with an end-of-year concert. Guitarist Mono Mukundu will be the guest artist at the same event. King Alec Macheso is expected to light up Mashingo, where he's set to perform at Caravan Park this Friday alongside another Sungura gem, Somantla Ndebele.
And on that note, we break for sport. When we return, we'll be joined by Lawrence Tusida. Stay with us.
Get your business ready for the festive season with ZBC. Join us for the ZBC Mega Festive Business Promotion running from the 1st of November of 2024 all the way to January 31 of 2025. Enjoy an incredible cash discount of over 50% across all ZBC platforms. This is your opportunity to make your business shine. So celebrate with ZBC and watch your business thrive by simply booking your spot right now. For more information, call Tandeka on 0719 594 426 or Martha on 0719 593 532 or Precious on 0719 593 510 or email tandeka.mubi@zbc.co.zw. Terms and conditions apply.
Hello, Zimbabwe. My name
Good evening and thank you so much for joining us on Sports News this evening. My name is Lawrence Tusida. We start off with news coming through from Namibia, where the Zimbabwe netball team, the Gems, suffered a disappointing 63-41 defeat to South Africa in the semi-finals of the Africa Netball Cup. We'll get more details from Anasha Zambezi.
The highly anticipated battle for the Limpopo lived up to its billing, but the Gems were ultimately unable to overcome the mighty Spar Proteas. South Africa's dominance over Zimbabwe continued, with the Gems still searching for their first win over their Southern Africa rivals. Coming off a demoralizing defeat to host Namibia, the Gems struggled to regain their footing against the powerhouse South Africans. Despite a spirited effort, the Gems were unable to close the gap, with South Africa taking a 17-13 lead in the first quarter. The Spar Proteas stretched their lead to 13 points by halftime, going into the break with a 34-21 advantage. The Gems were unable to recover, with the South Africa's shooting prowess proving too much to handle. The Spar Proteas ended the third quarter with a commanding 50-32 lead before cruising to a 63-41 win in the final quarter. The defeat means that the Gems will not play for a third-place finish, as they will be up against another stiffer opponent, Malawi.
Not a good day in terms of sports for Zimbabwe, as the Chevrons suffered a 50-run defeat to Afghanistan in the second T20 played at Harare Sports Club this Friday. Dawish Rasuli made his first international 50, while Navin Al-Haq and Rashid Khan each took 3 wickets as Afghanistan beat Zimbabwe 50 runs this Friday to level the T20 series with 1 match remaining. Zimbabwe earlier won aboard well, dismissing Afghanistan for 153 runs but failed to chase the score. Chevron's opener Brian Bennett struck at 27, but once he departed, leaving the hosts struggling at 49 for 4. Only Captain Sikandar Raza, who hit 35 runs, proved a match for the Afghan attack. Just one of the other Zimbabwean batters, a first match hero at Shingam Secure, reached double figures as Zimbabwe were dismissed for 103 in 17 overs.
It's one of those bad days in the office. So the last game, once we strung along a couple of partnerships, it looks like a different batting unit. So it's just unfortunate today, but we go again tomorrow.
The two teams meet this Saturday for the T20 decider at Harare Sports Club. The senior national teams they're suffering the full effects of Friday at the 13th. I certainly hope that the decider tomorrow will be much better and will go in favor of the Chevrons. That's all we managed to have for you in sports news this evening, and it's now time for the weather update.
Hello there, welcome. Let's take a look at the weather details. Today started off mostly sunny and warm in all areas. However, it got very hot and humid with some brief cloud periods in some areas due to moisture which drifted in from Zambia as well as Botswana. And these conditions, coupled with advection of cool moist air from the south, will result in isolated thunder showers in the northern regions of Zimbabwe, with some cooler conditions over the southern parts of the country. And as we get into the weekend, it's going to be generally hot with some chances of showers here and there. And of note is the trajectory of the tropical cyclone Chido, which is expected to head at the northwestern parts of Mozambique next week. And as a department, will keep monitoring its movement and keep you posted. And as of now, you're currently advised to keep calm and keep tuning in for further details. And as for the satellite image for rainfall activity, you can see pockets of rain over the weekend in some parts of Zimbabwe and into the next week of December. And partly cloud conditions are expected with chances of showers here and there. Tonight, we're expecting our partly cloud conditions due to moisture, which has drifted in from the west and the northern parts of the country, from Matebelele and south and north, stretching into the interior. Now tomorrow, windy conditions over the south with some slight drop in maximum temperatures, partly cloudy to the north with chances of isolated showers here and the temperatures should be high over the areas along the Zambezi Valley. Blawayo is supposed to be partly cloudy, hot with chances of showers here and there. Now as we move on, Matopo's windy due to cool moist air from the south with chances of showers as we get into next week. Isolated showers cannot be ruled out as we next week for Gwanda, Mashingo, mostly sunny, windy here and there, hot in the afternoon. Lupane, partly cloudy with chances of showers here and there. Victoria Falls, partly cloudy and hot with isolated showers. In Sports, Gweru, windy and partly cloudy with some chances of showers here and the Kwekwe should be windy on Saturday, hot in the afternoon with showers of which could be thundery as we get into the next week. Kadoma, windy, partly cloudy as we get into Monday next week. Chinwe, chances of showers cannot be ruled out into the next week. As we move on, Harare, partly cloudy with a chance of thunder showers in places. Kariba, partly cloudy and hot during the afternoon. Pintura, partly cloudy and hot. Chances of showers are expected as well. Marondera, showers cannot be ruled out with warm afternoons. Nyanga should be partly cloudy with chances of thunder showers here and there. That's all on weather news today. Good evening, Zimbabwe. I'm Christine Swanda signing out.